Hi everyone, good afternoon and welcome to Everything Central Coast. As you know, I have a special guest today, Marcy Jean Fambrini. Yay, applause everyone. And so we're here today to talk about the ups and downs of weight loss versus weight gain. And because most of you, I'm sure out there, have challenges with weight loss, we're going to start with Marcy to talk a little bit about her backstory and the challenges she's had. And then maybe we'll get into a little bit of my story. We'll see about that. I don't know about that yet.
Oh.
So,
Can't do that.
So welcome, Marcy. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I think it's exciting because obviously we're in the middle of summer, and in talking to a lot of friends and just in what I do every day, I know a lot of people still struggle with weight loss. And we connected. I don't know if you want to share a little bit about how we connected, but when I was still in the hospital, you know, I believe it was right when I got out of rehab, you reached out. And I don't think I even asked you, like, what prompted you to even reach out to me, because that was, I guess, a little bit of a surprise for me.
Okay. Well, I saw a little bit of your journey and what you were going through, and it just hit heavy on my heart. And I just knew that I had to reach out and see how that was going for you. I mean, you are such a beautiful, live spirit, and you bring light to every room. And to see you going through that, what COVID did to you. Anyway, yeah. I'm glad I nosed around a little bit.
I know. Isn't that crazy? And now, well, so shortly thereafter, you know, we had tea together. I came to your place, and I was still kind of struggling at that time, but I knew I had to kind of like take baby steps to get out. And outside of that, we just connected, and I feel like supporting one another in our journeys and what we're kind of going through, and that's a big part of the conversation today. And I think for anybody that's going through anything that's challenging in their life. So thank you so much for that, because here we are today.
Yay!
Who would have thought, right?
Lots of little victories together too. So
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Very much like a little divine appointment, and
there's been a lot of that.
So grateful for you.
So much of that. We're here for a reason, and we're here to share our stories with others, so that they're more comfortable sharing their stories, right?
Yep.
Even if they are uncomfortable situations and stories, which we're going to get into your story right now. And you've been great. You've been very open about everything you've gone through and all the challenges. I mean, if you follow Marcy on, you know, Facebook, she is raw. This is what's going on. And so talk a little bit about how you got here, and about yourself, and what we can expect.
Okay. Well, I found that the more transparent and the more ugly and the more embarrassing the situation, if I'm transparent about it, that not only does it lift me up when I hear other people tell me, like, you're not alone. And like, I hear that a lot, you know, and that feels so good, but it also helps people. So my weight loss journey started 11 years ago when I first got into recovery. So I have 11 years clean and sober.
Yay!
And but in that first year, I replaced the drugs and the alcohol with food.
Yeah.
And there was one thing in common, and that was I did not love myself. And so in the first couple of years of recovery, with some inside work, some body, mind, and spirit work, and 12-step work, and a challenge from my sponsor, who said, I want you to put a little sticker on the mirror, so when you see it in the morning, you have to, you know, and it says I love you, you have to say I love you to yourself. And I was like, that's so dumb, you know. Like, okay,
right now, like,
whatever.
Yeah, it made a difference, I'm sure.
My gosh. Well, what really was transforming was the first time I looked in the mirror and had to say that to myself, how hard that was.
Oh.
That was so much harder than I expected. It felt so uncomfortable to do that. And then that really spoke to me loudly that, okay, something's got to change here. So as that journey began, and the inside work and the 12-step work and the healing and everything, I was able to look in that mirror. And at that time I had put on, I was 260 pounds.
Wow.
At 5'5". So I, for the first time after saying I love you, all of a sudden I just looked at that, looked at myself, and I went, this is ridiculous. We got to do something about this. So that's where my weight loss journey began. And to skip over a lot of stuff, a lot of years, basically I got down to 150 pounds,
nice.
Which was, I actually got lower than that, but it was a little too much. But I finally got into a routine where I was good to myself. And it really all started back with that little stupid sticker. And
telling yourself that
you love very
yourself.
Insightful challenge from my sponsor. And it was like, that was incredible. But today I'm here because the same thing that put you in your situation, put me in this situation, and I gained back 60 pounds during COVID. And
so when you say you gained back 60 pounds during COVID, because I'm sure there's, some people watching and saying, well, why is it COVID's fault?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So in recovery, we talk about our addiction, and because I use food like I do drugs, when I'm in that bad place, it is stress. It is anything that would make my headspace start doing you're a POS, you're you're no good, you're gonna fail.
Right. Just all that.
Nobody loves you.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, it doesn't matter how ridiculous that
negativity enters your mind, and you let it.
Yeah, my friend Thea always said the itty bitty shitty committee, and I always thought that was hilarious. But it's so true. I mean, those thoughts, those lies, are like a bully. That is like, and the bully, when it gets momentum, it wins. Yeah. And so, I mean, I was just like, I just said, forget it.
How long did you have COVID?
No, so this was just the stress of COVID that started the downfall, and
letting
all those, and I stopped going to meetings, and because of COVID, and, all these things, it was just the perfect storm. Yeah. And the stress and so it just got worse and worse. Then I said, I want to do something about this. And I started going back to CrossFit, and I started using my tools, because I know I have tools like going to meetings and things like that, having support system, having people hold you accountable. And so then I lost, I think it was 27 pounds. And then I caught COVID. So it was a double COVID.
Just pushed you right back, right?
It just put me back into a place. It's not technically not COVID's fault, because I could have reached out and used the tools. They had Zoom meetings. They had, lots of things that I could have done, but I let that bully win.
Right.
And I basically was telling myself, you're not worth continuing that health journey. I was 9 years. I was 150 pounds, and I ate so healthy. I was a pescatarian for a year. Wow. I really just changed my whole lifestyle. But that thinking took over. And
so what got you back to say, snap out of it, lady?
So
I forgot that I love myself. Like, what happened there?
That's what started it. Was I got to a really dark place. And I remembered that actually I was talking to my son, and he challenged me to do something that was very similar. And I said, hey, I'm going to put that sticker,
Oh, that's
on the, yeah.
You mentioned something about
and
that.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. And, again, it felt really awkward, wow, I didn't realize I had let myself go for so long that I don't love who I am anymore. And I don't think I'm worth it anymore. And so, putting that sticker back on my mirror and
kickstarted
it once again. And I knew I had tools, and I knew I had the means to get myself back to where I was healthy again. And there's been a couple setbacks,
Well, when I don't know, it's been a little over a month now, I think, that you've been back on this, or about a month that you've been back on this.
38 days since I started.
And so we were going to Atascadero or something for some other business, and I know you were kind of like, hey Val, I think I'm gonna, and I'm like, that's great, amazing, right? So I didn't know when we started this whole friendship that would be a conversation piece that we would kind of both be going through at the same time, which is just kind of nuts all in itself.
Yeah.
Too.
So that's when you introduced me to some supplements and some talk about tools.
Yes.
I mean, that is a tool bag that I'm excited about. I'm a total skeptic, right? So I was like, I remember when you told me about it, I was like, oh, okay, we'll see about this.
Yeah.
And then the more I learned about it, first of all, as a bariatric patient, because in the beginning of that long story, I lost the first 37 pounds, and then I had the sleeve.
Okay.
And that's a gastric sleeve. And it's not the solution to weight loss. It is an accountability. And so that was a great tool. But because of that, my body needs to take, I am now for life chained to this giant box of vitamin C, iron. I mean, like every single one. And then there's some like ones I take for hair, and all that kind of stuff. So I have this huge box, and you were like, well, I think you can just take this little thing. And I was like, you don't know, because I'm a bariatric patient. And I took it to my nutritionist. She gave me the list, and it was everything. And so I just started adding this little tiny scoop.
That's all your vitamins.
Everything, and
specific to bariatric.
Yeah, specific to bariatric or to anyone. Yeah. I mean, there's not a bariatric pill in there. They're all things that anybody should take. I don't think I got sick 2 or 3 times in that 9 years when I was taking all those
vitamins.
Yeah, those vitamins and everything. So that's just like a good thing to do anyway. But that was really nice. So that was like the first thing that kind of won me. I'm like, okay, I don't know about all these other little
everything. But your own tools, you also brought that back into the mix, and the things that you're using to kind of get back on your health journey. And get back to good health. Going to meetings, so body, mind, and spirit, there's just so many things I add to, like meditation, to So I feel like one of the biggest struggles, and I was just having this conversation with an actual person that works out on a very regular basis, and and I think for people that do this as a way of living, and they work out, and it's just part of, they're very accustomed to this, that there's a lot of people, and I feel like business owners, small business owners, which you are also, we struggle with time to do things like that. And I don't want to say more than a lot of people, but when you're running a small business, you already have the struggle of running that small business, and you're typically doing like everything.
Yeah.
So making time for yourself, to whether it's going to the gym or yoga or working out or taking your vitamins or making your shakes, and like, because I'm doing all those things now, and it's like I have to consciously set that time aside. I have to consciously tell myself, don't walk out that door, Valerie, until you have your vitamin, your yogurt, and like, because normally I'm like gone, like out the door, like I don't even care, like I'll deal with that, I'll eat later, like. So I think holding yourself accountable, that's probably one of the biggest struggles I think that a lot of people have, and because you're consumed with everything around you, which is like, fast food, or oh, look how great this looks and how yummy this is, and everybody's going to lunch and we're gonna all eat French fries and burgers, and like, so how is it that you're able to stick to your plan, hold yourself accountable, and what would you say to those people that feel like they've failed, and because I think part of this is also, you are going to fail, but you got to get back up again, right?
That's huge.
You got to keep on moving, you got to keep fighting, you got to keep going forward and figure out what motivates you to get there, to that next step.
Okay. Well, I wake up at 4 a.m, which would have sounded ridiculous to me.
That does to me.
A lot.
Still.
And that's when I go to CrossFit. Some scheduling at CrossFit, because of the teachers that were available or not available, that kind of got moved around, and so that set me back a little bit. But I do have to create a routine. But I go 5:30 class, and then I go straight to AA meeting at 7, and
then you've got
then body, mind, spirit is good for the day. I have my
supplement,
oxygen, my O4 products. I got all that kind of stuff. So it's been, getting that routine is huge. And accountability, doing what I do on Facebook, getting in front of Simon and his camera.
Yes, she did.
In my Biggest Loser costume, I call it.
Which is almost nothing. But we had to do that for before pictures and after.
That's like accountability to me, and that's really what kept me going in the last 2 weeks when I went to Mexico and got off my routine. I almost let it get me down. I went hiking today, so I'm back after good old Montezuma.
And we're gonna both get up the preserve here.
Yes.
Because I just got a great update today from my doctor.
Wait.
So we're gonna do it together.
Are you gonna tell that story?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell now. Okay. What I do? We'll flip the script in a minute. Yeah. Nobody normally interviews me, but we're gonna do this because I also have had my struggles with health. But so when it comes to your food intake, so tell us about your calorie count, how you are holding yourself accountable for that, and what a typical day might look like as far as food intake.
One of my other favorite tools is Noom. There's a lot of different apps, but that one holds me accountable. I log my meals. I know what I'm gonna have. I plan everything out. It tells me how many calories. Right now, just to do extra weight loss, I'm like 1,000 to 12. I was doing less, and my doctor was like,
sure.
No. So, but that holds me accountable. I don't know, there's...
Any favorite foods or any foods out there that you would recommend to other people that...
I do a lot of high protein. I do, like the hard-boiled eggs at, okay, so this is a good thing.
Do tell.
When I first had my surgery and I was telling having a talk with myself, I basically said that I need to break up with my love affair with food because part of changing my headspace, or when I start tripping out on something, or I like this person did me wrong, or this, I've got a resentment on and when I get in my head, normally drugs, alcohol, food would be like, ooh, what am I gonna have for dinner? Ooh, I go to this place and get my favorite. It's like a romance.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. Something that my nutritionist reminded me is that food is fuel. This is the car, that's the gas.
Absolutely.
It's just meant, when we were in the wild, we weren't getting a supersize, Big Mac. But yeah, so that's like a huge thing for me is sort of rearranging your relationship to food. Yeah. And I'm not saying that you can't cook with spices or do whatever, but if you just keep it simple and throughout the day and just get like the 2 hard-boiled eggs.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of taste, but it is great. It's
gives
a great,
it
gives you what you need. Fuel.
Need.
It puts fuel in my tank. And then after I eat those little hard-boiled eggs, I'm not fantasizing about what I could go order or whatever. It
fills you enough to where you're content.
It fills your tank.
And so do you have moments where you're like,
Yes.
you're having one of those cravings and do you have those moments, and how do you deal with those?
It's fun to do a little exercise and see if you can, okay, I know how I feel right now. I know what I want right now. Let me eat those celery and peanut butter or the eggs or cottage cheese or whatever, and see if I still want whatever this other thing is. And then, nope, I don't.
Right.
Perfect.
Perfect. Just got to fill that void.
Yeah.
Just got to.
And that part of us, if you are aiming to be a very healthy person and that's your entire lifestyle, that part of weight loss is temporary. Eventually you get to a point where you crave the right things and you don't have to, not every meal is a battle.
Right.
So.
Well said. Very good. Okay.
I'm in that place now.
Yeah, I know. And you're still, so your goal is to lose how much weight by when?
I'd like to get back down to 150.
Okay.
I do, in my Noom, I have a when, but the last 2 weeks kind of knocked that off. But I think January or February is a very healthy.
So start the new year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to be doing more updates, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, you guys are going to be able to, they're going to be able to see pretty much everything.
My Biggest Loser costume.
So, and again, remind everybody where they can follow you so they can continue to watch your story and encourage you and cheer you on.
I think it's Marcy Jean Fambrini and it's a picture of me with the microphone from back when I met you.
Yes, when we first met. She's also a musician, and she also has Marcy Jean Permanent Makeup over in Aurora Grande.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Rontel Salon.
Yes, Rontel Salon.
124 Traffic Way.
Hair, permanent makeup.
Skin tightening.
Micro needling, skin tightening.
Micro needling, collagen induction therapy.
A little bit
That's my new art.
So you're going to be hooking up these eyebrows really soon. I need it. They're turning red. We all have that challenge though. So we're always working on, ourselves and looking better and we're trying. We're always trying. So thank you for joining me today, Marcy.
Thank you for sharing those products with me and your encouragement and having me here.
We're going to do this again.
Yeah.
And be sure to follow Marcy. And stay tuned for more. And if you've got a story out there that you're interested in bringing to me and showcasing, and you're willing to just put yourself out there, then get in touch with me. And I'll put the links to these products and Marcy's page here in the feed. And I appreciate your time and your watching for us today. So
this thing fits perfect in my driver's My little dashboard.
Dashboard.
It kind of gets in the way of the. Anyway,
Serious.
I'm
I
just
love
saying
this
that's
stuff.
where I put it. It reminds
love
me.
this stuff. And thank you as always to my sponsors, the Pismo Beach Hotel, Harry's Nightclub and Beach Bar, Simon Mercado Photography, who happens to be behind the camera, Noble Productions, who's producing this here today, and Cool Cat Cafe. I appreciate every one of you out there, and make it a great day. We are off to Farmers Market in San Luis Obispo. All right, bye for now. Signing off.
Yay! Thank you.
Thank you.
That's cool.
great.
It really does.
And a big thank you to our sponsors, Harry's Nightclub and Beach Bar, the Pismo Beach Hotel, Simon Mercado Photography, and Cool Cat Cafe. Produced by Noble Productions.